Hi, my name is Pam and I work in the Adult Services Department here at the library. Today I'm going to talk about the database Chicago Tribune Online. This database is accessible from home. Simply go to our homepage, lyelllibrary.org, go to our toolbar and click on Databases. Our databases are listed in alphabetical order, so just scroll down to Chicago Tribune Online, click on that. Enter your library card number and your PIN number, and then you'll reach Chicago Tribune. The Chicago Tribune is one of the most respected newspapers in the United States. It has the latest news from the Chicago area, the nation, and the world. The coverage for this database dates back to 1985. This is a full-text database that provides access to top news stories, information on the arts, sports, business, and popular culture, and is available each morning by 7 a.m. So let's take a look. This is the home page. So let's start by looking in the upper right-hand corner. The first icon we see looks like a reverse clock. Now this keeps track of your recent searches. We'll take a look at that a little bit later after we've done some searching. The next icon that looks like a folder is where you'll keep your searches. And again, I'll show you that a little bit later after we save some of ours. The next icon that looks like a profile, this is where you will create your research account. So let's click on that. And then we'll click on Create My Research Account. And the reason you might want to do that is if you want to save your documents, your searches, and your alerts. We'll talk about that a little bit later. For after you log out of Chicago Tribune, and then if you log back later, all that information will be retained. And all you have to do is enter your email address, your password twice, and then consent to their terms and conditions. And then later, when you log back on to Chicago Tribune, then you could just sign into your research account. And don't forget to exit after you're through. So let's go back to the home page. That's where we would just do a basic search. And as I mentioned before, this is a full text database, so we don't have to click that. And I have already entered unemployment. That is always a hot topic, so we'll search for that. And as you can see, there's over 26,000 articles on that. And I want to point out, if you see this icon right here, that means that's from an article from one of their blogs, podcast, or from their website. And then this icon right here that looks like a newspaper is an article from one of their newspapers. So let's narrow this down a little bit. I'm going to click on newspapers. And then I'm going to narrow this down more by publication date. You can enter a date range, but I'm just going to use the slider here and then update. And then I'm going to bring your attention over here. If we look at this, we can see there was 23 articles in January of this year about unemployment. And then in February, there was only 13, maybe not as much of a concern in February. And then we see in March, there's 49, becoming more of a hot topic. And then in April, there's 84 articles on unemployment, so becoming more of a concern. So we can narrow it down even more. Let's narrow it down by document type. And let's say we just want news articles. All right, so let's take a look at the second one right here. I'm going to click over here. And at this point, if you wanted to cite this article, if you're doing a research page, they give you a lot of options. You could cite it in APA, Chicago style, MLA, Tribune, or if you wanted to email this home to you, all you have to do is enter your email address and you could tell them you just want the citation or you want the full text. Or if you wanted to save this to your research page, or even if I click here, if you wanted to print this out, you can do that there. All right. Also, if you wanted to create an alert, you're doing research on unemployment and you want all those articles on unemployment, you could name your alert stories about unemployment, enter your email address. If you wanted details, how often you want your emails, and for how long. If you want it for the next year, 6 months, and then just click alert. So if you're interested in unemployment, or let's say there's a particular politician you're interested in, or a sports figure, you can create alerts for that. So if we click on the title of the article, full text here, or even the icon, it's all going to take you to the same place. So I'm going to click on the title of the article. And then this is the full text of the article, and unemployment is highlighted throughout. If I look at the details, this is going to tell me who the reporter was. It's on page 1 of the newspaper, the March 27th publication. All right, and at this point, if you didn't want to use that research page, you could copy and paste this URL into a Word document and then save it that way. All right, from here also you can save it as a PDF, cited, email, print, and all options. You could click on Save to My Research from here. All right. All right, for those who like to add parameters before they get started, you can go directly to the advanced page. And basically, everything we did on that basic search you can do here, except the nice thing about here is you could add more research terms. So, for instance, I know that Corey Franklin is a reporter for the Tribune. So I'm going to put author, and I want to see if he's written about anything about COVID-19. And I know he does commentary, so I'm going to click on that. And then hit a search. And so he did write a few articles about that. And this is dated April 27th, and this one was dated April 17th. All right, I want to go back over here to the upper right-hand corner, take a look at our searches. After you're through doing your work, you've decided, oh yeah, I do want one of those articles. You could come back here because it retains all that information until you sign out of this. And then over here, we can see where we saved one of the articles that we were interested in. All right. There are a couple things I'd like to bring to your attention. So let's go to the publication page. And as I mentioned before, there are articles from blogs, podcasts, and their online website. So I'm sure most of us have encountered this. You see an article online that you want to read, and it may only let you read the first couple of lines, or it might only let you read a few articles in that issue, and then they want you to sign up for the newspaper to gain access. Well, you do have access through our database, so please don't forget about this. This is a great feature, and you should take advantage of it. Also, if you want to browse today's issue, as I mentioned before, today's issue is available by 7 a.m. We're just going to click here. And as you can see, there's today's issue. But first, I want to show you this also. I'm going to scroll down to the bottom and click on 2020, and then April. Let's say you didn't get to read yesterday's newspaper, so you could just click on that April 28th, that was yesterday's. But let's just take a look at today's newspaper. All right, so this is telling us there's 98 articles in today's issue of the Chicago Tribune. And it is in order by page number, so I'm just going to click on this first one. And so that's the full text of the article. I'm going to look at the details. And it was telling me it's on page 1 of today's issue of the Chicago Tribune. So if I wanted to browse this issue, all I have to do is go to the top here and click on the numbers. So then I just could look through here and see what articles that interest me. All right, and that's it for today. And thank you so much for joining me, and I hope to see you soon. Bye-bye.